If you are a coach and you don't know the best way to market yourself, then you are not alone. The challenge for many coaches is, how do you attract a consistent stream of ideal clients? And I think one of the problems that we often face as coaches is that all the different marketing activities that we're advised to do can be a bit overwhelming, sometimes confusing, because what I see is that some of the marketing activities actually don't work. It sounds quite brutal to say that, but that's what I see. That's my experience in conversations with coaches. What actually works for a coaching business is super specific. And the research backs up that some of the things, particularly social media, is not the best way to get clients on board. It can be a real sap on your time and doesn't necessarily work. So that's why I wanted to create this video, to share with you some of the strategies that really do work in terms of attracting ideal clients to your coaching business. I'm Lisa Farr, and I've been helping coaches attract clients since 2008. So with all that experience, I just felt really moved to want to share some of the sort of highlights with you, the things that I've learned over the years that really do work. So I've got 3 strategies for you to attracting your ideal clients, and I hope you find it interesting. Strategy number 1 is you need to know how to generate leads. So you need to know how to get people interested in what you offer. The first part of this is to get really clear on who is your target market, who's an ideal client for you. And then with that, looking at what is the language, how do you talk about what you do in a way that gets those particular people interested and wanting to know more. So you need the language there for them. And to generate leads, you also need a way of reaching out, obviously. A way of reaching out, in my opinion, to get people into conversations. It's really difficult to sell coaching through email and directly through social media. And so it's important to have a way to generate conversations reliably so that you can get more clients on board in that way. So as you're looking at that piece, the way of generating conversations could be reaching out to your network. It could be people have been successful through doing workshops, any way in which people have an experience of you and get to know you better. That can be a really good way of generating more conversations as well. So a couple of tips here in terms of how to do this. The first tip is really to get clear on that language. And with that language, positioning yourself so that people who hear about you can also pass your information or recommendation or mention you in conversations to help you get more clients that way. So you're not doing all the sort of the marketing yourself, so to speak, but as more people get to know you, they recommend and refer you as well. And the second piece here is, when you're generating those conversations, is to make sure you have a way of converting those conversations as well. It's like when you get people interested in whatever ways you do, how do you get them into that conversation? How do you add value through that conversation to make it the best use of their time so that you've got something very attractive to get them in to talk with you? And the ways that I see people are recommending, and I think a coaching business can be built absolutely on relationships. What I see is people spending too much time on social media or thinking social media is going to work. And sometimes it does, but it's a really small proportion of coaches that get clients through social media. So I'll share some research with you that illustrates this. It was quite shocking to me when I read about this a good few years ago now. And it's that 80% of buyers of executive coaching will find their coach through word of mouth or recommendation, not through social media. I think one year it was 4% find it through social media. And so that really informs how we can best do our marketing, because To me, that really gives some evidence about how the marketing works for coaches. And that has been my experience over the years. I've worked with hundreds of coaches over the years, and building relationships, online and offline, it's an important piece of it, but it's not the thing just posting on social media that's going to get you more clients on board. So that research I found really interesting, and I hope you do too. You may also want a referral strategy. A lot of coaches do get clients through word of mouth and recommendation, absolutely. But what we're quite often doing is relying on whenever somebody else remembers to recommend us or refer us. And so a lot of coaches I work with, we build a strategy around that. So it actually gives you some actions, some things that you can do to generate referrals for your business, rather than just kind of relying on when people remember or think about you. And so that helps you to make the most of the opportunities that are actually all around you. Strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is where you want to generate more income, but with less effort, less of your time. Otherwise, what I see is, particularly for successful coaches, it's like your business model is actually flawed, because you can get stuck as an income ceiling that you can't get beyond if you're just doing one-to-one coaching. When I trained as a coach back in 1999, a long time ago now it seems, that was the only business model. You just did one-to-one marketing and one-to-one coaching. But there is a real limitation to that. So how do you leverage your time? 2 key ways that I see you can leverage your time. One is to begin to develop or work more in what I would call one-to-many marketing techniques. So for your time, you're reaching a whole group of people at once. So for example, webinars, presentations, even small groups, workshops and so on can really begin to leverage your time with your marketing. And the second way is to develop ways of actually delivering your service to a group of people all at once. And so a few examples there could be group coaching. There's a lot of opportunities out there at the moment for group coaching. It could be for those of you who like working with teams, that you work with teams. So another way that you can work there by leveraging your time in terms of your delivery. Strategy number 3 is to understand where our mindset or our beliefs might be holding us back. Many of our beliefs are almost invisible to us. And that's why it's really important to become aware of what might be holding us back, what might feel like it's sabotaging ourselves in some way, shape or form. I would say this is totally normal, actually. Whenever we want to take our business to the next level, or market ourselves in a new or different way, get more clients, that can often result in some resistance. It's like our mind almost gets in our own way and stops us. And this is crucial so that we can move beyond it. And I'm going to talk about a couple of mindset aspects that are very specific to a coaching business that I think you'll find interesting. The first piece in terms of mindset is you knowing your value. So what is the value, not to you, but to a client of working with you? And as you gain more and more experience, so if you're an experienced coach, the value that you bring over the years will increase. It's bound to. You'll get more experience, you'll get more success stories, more clients will gain more from working with you. So what is your value now? And do you know what that value is? And can you articulate that value to your potential clients? Because that's really important, knowing that we can get across the value to potential clients, because of course what they're buying is totally intangible. You can't pick up a coaching program and look at it or examine it in any way. So it's intangible. And so the important piece there is getting across the value of the intangible, the coaching program. And there are different ways that you can make it a little bit more tangible, but the crucial thing is knowing how to articulate that value. Important for your confidence as well. I think when we know our value, we become, a lot of my clients say this as well, we become a lot more confident in what it is that we offer. And we're more willing to get out there and market ourselves because we know we've got something of value. So mindset around value is actually really important. And the second part of mindset I wanted to talk about in this video is you knowing that you know how to get clients on board. So you know what marketing works for you. And again, that's really important because only then do you have a sustainable business, when you know what works reliably for you to get more clients on board. And the interesting thing here is that Pareto's principle, which you may have heard, the 80-20 rule, also works for marketing. So that means that it's likely that 80% of your business will come from 20% of your marketing. So then the question obviously is, what is the 20% of your marketing that really works for you? When you begin to understand exactly what it is for you, not only does it put you in charge of your business, in other words, you can get more clients whenever you want. You haven't got that dread that some coaches talk about, when there's the blank diary or clients are completing and you don't have a filled pipeline of new clients or a waiting list in some way. If you do have that, and or you know how to get more clients on board, it really does put you in a much stronger position, I think. It puts you in a place where you're free to do the work that you want to do. You don't have to accept work or bring clients on board just because they're there and you need to make some money. I mean, that's not what it's about, is it? It's like, what do you really want to do in the world? What are you really here to do? And how do we get you in the world doing that without worrying about the money piece? Because that's rubbish, isn't it? Worrying about money. None of us like that. So for me, that's why this piece is really important. All right, I hope this has been helpful and look forward to connecting with you in the future.